I mean, first of all, anytime you can play on a night like this when it's Veterans Day and we can just honor those who have served and sacrificed for us, that's always really a great opportunity. We've been fortunate the last couple games to be able to play for something a lot bigger than ourselves. So that was a fun opportunity for us, and of course, good to get a win. I wasn't very pleased with our game overall tonight. Thought we came out excellent in the first quarter and, really shot the ball well and things were clicking. And then I think we just got a little comfortable. We got a little lax. I think Texas Southern is so good at being aggressive, and we knew that they were going to do that, especially on the glass, and they did. They were just more aggressive than we were. So really, the second and third quarter, those were not good quarters for us at all. I didn't think that we were the team that we need to be or want to be. I thought Gret was spectacular at just, she had a career high. So obviously she put the ball in the hole, but it wasn't necessarily about that as much as just her poise and composure when the game was a little bit out of control or sloppy. I thought she did a really good job of just kind of bringing some calm to the storm for us. But we've got a big game coming up this weekend, and we need to figure things out quickly because tonight was not the team that we want to be.
And Coach, when Tiana went down, that obviously kind of changed a little bit of the game. And can you kind of give us your perspective from on the court, kind of how you adjust to that kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, first of all, I hope she's okay. I asked the coach after, and they weren't really sure, but definitely our thoughts and prayers are with her and with their team because that's so hard to see people go down like that. And it's just one of those things, what can you do? But it definitely changed the momentum, I think, for just the whole arena, just because no one ever wants to see that on either team. And it does kind of mentally take you out of it a little bit, especially when it's as long as it was. So that definitely, did have an impact. I don't think that was any excuse for us because I thought our issues happened before that, but that certainly did affect the flow of the game, I think.
And Gret, you obviously had a career high tonight. But it seems like you've been that consistent player. And last year, you were kind of at the point guard, that helmet things. But this year, it kind of seems like you're being able to play off the ball a little bit more. How has that been able to impact the way that you've been playing?
Yeah, I prefer to play off the ball way more than being on the ball, being with the ball. But I think my teammates just did an amazing job today, like finding me, and obviously like the other team leaving me open that much after I had made a couple kind of helped with it too, to like find me easier. But yeah, like big shout out to my teammates of finding me and kind of feeding me the ball to like take these shots, and today I just made them. Yeah.
Jacie, do you feel like in that second quarter, was it more y'all not doing what you need to do, or was it more Texas Southern kind of upping their intensity or doing things to throw you off?
Well, I think it was a little bit of both. I think that they were really aggressive, and we were not very disciplined, and we fouled on defense. So then the flow, the quick pace that we want to play at, we couldn't really ever get a hold of that because they were constantly at the free throw line. And then offensively, we just turned the ball over, and I didn't necessarily think that was them. I thought that was us, not just playing off 2 feet, as we say, just kind of taking a little more pride in our passing and things of that sort. They sped us up a little bit. We had a couple charge calls. So I think it was a little bit of both on offense and defense of them being aggressive, but also us just not doing what we knew we needed to do.
You mentioned, last week with the first game that, last week it was, Macy had a big game, and then another player, and then tonight, Gret. This team, does that speak to the depth and just the talent that y'all are able to have, multiple players scoring 30 points a week?
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking daily about that right now. Just that, the best teams have the most depth. I think you can look across the country and see that. And we have a lot of weapons, fortunately. And, we've seen, even if you take our exhibition game into account, Stacy had a really great game that game. And then Macy, of course, did her thing. Last game, I felt like it was Micah, and tonight it was G. We don't know who it's going to be on any given night, but I know as a coach, it's a really great feeling knowing that you have those weapons ready.
Does that change the substitution or kind of the flow of the game from a coach? But obviously, some of these players are built in to play more minutes, play more frequently. But when you've got a player that's doing well, does that kind of change the approach in that way?
Yeah, as a staff, we're really trying to figure out kind of what our rotations are right now. Not necessarily because of the scoring, but just because we haven't had the bodies that we have now. Tonight was the first night that we've been able to have everyone available to suit up. And thankfully, right? But we're still trying to figure that out. I think the kids are still kind of trying to figure that out. But there's such a selfless group that really helps because, I mean, even some of the possessions that we had tonight offensively, we didn't necessarily score, but I thought we were making the right plays. They were the right passes. It was very team-oriented, and I love that about this group. And we just have to continue to understand, everyone has to continue to understand that that's what's going to make us so good is our depth and, having all those weapons and just knowing that it might not be your night tonight or the next day, but it doesn't mean that it's never going to happen for you. And so just trusting that process.
Getting 1 through 14 to kind of buy in that sisterhood that you've been talking about over the past couple of press conferences that we've had. I mean, what does that look like outside of the court? I know we've touched on little things, but if there's an overall scheme of that, getting those girls to buy in, because you can tell as soon as they touch the court that they're in it and they're bought in, and this group is very unselfish, like you said. So how do you, as a coach, kind of instill that inside of them?
I think it's just the conversations we have and holding them accountable to, be about the right things in practice. And, we actually had 2 really good practices leading up to this game. I thought we had our best practice of the season 2 practices ago. And on that day, the sisterhood looked different. I mean, they're going at each other and as competitive as I've ever seen a team since I've been here, to be honest with you. And so I think, sisterhood it's not always rainbows and, sunshine. I mean, it's just not. But what it is just knowing that the person on each side of you is going to give it their best and be in your foxhole and hold you accountable and call you up. And I think that we've got a really great group of kids that understand that.
When you're having a game like this, career high, does it feel different? Like in the moment, are you like, oh my gosh, I'm at 25 points, I'm at 30 points. Like, are you feeling that things are going right?
I didn't even know that I had a career high. Like, I felt that like shots falling and like I felt that I was dominating, but I wasn't like paying. I wasn't paying attention to like how many points I have or whatever. Like, that's not what I was like focusing on. Like, I was focusing on making the right read, making the right shot, and like I just felt that tonight was the night that my shots went in, and obviously when I'm open, I'm gonna try to demand the ball and like get another shot off. So yeah.
As a team, 3 games in, from your perspective, where do y'all feel like y'all are as far as things you need to work on, over the next couple months before conference play?
Definitely I feel like our like focus, like Coach already said, like even if we get off to a good start, like we need to stay focused on finishing it all out. Like, it's not that the other team is just gonna give up and like give the win to us. Like, they're obviously gonna keep playing, and we need to like understand that even in conference, like every game is going to be so close that like even if you fall off in the beginning or you get a lead in the beginning, like that's not gonna mean anything at the end of the game, because like I just feel like we need to like understand that better, that kind of keep going whether we're down or up.
And obviously the highly anticipated Jade Wooten making her arrival today. Can you speak to what that process has looked like for her? And maybe, I mean, today we saw she's just got a great passing ability. You saw that instantly. What are some other challenges or some growth areas that she might be looking forward to in the next month or two?
I think we're all looking forward to just having her more frequently. It's been very limited. Even tonight, her minutes were limited. So, she was on a really great track, and then the injury came on, and then it just was a dead halt. And that's hard for anyone. It's hard for her. It's hard for her teammates because they were really clicking, and then it's hard for us as coaches. So I think just getting her back and having her in more reps and getting her, especially those reps that are so important as a freshman, will be really instrumental. But she's definitely a spark, and she changes the game when she's in. So we're definitely anxious to really get her back in the mix of things.